All right, Russ Armstrong, Russ the Bus Armstrong here in Greenfield today. Been a long time Nottoway Valley bus driver for athletics. And Russ, I guess that's kind of where I want to start and just kind of give me a rundown of how long you've been busing or driving the bus for sports and how many different sports teams you have driven. So take me through that.
Oh, I got my license back in '97, and I did a lot of routes in that time. That's how I started. Right around 2003, 2004, I started with football, and then it just by 2005 I was doing a lot of sports.
Yeah. Are there? I mean, pretty much every sport. Is that what we're talking?
Yes, all of them.
Okay. Yeah. Great. Well, tell me about '97. You said you wanted to get you got your bus license, so you were busing a little bit, splitting routes, and then in the 2000s you start with sports. So how did it come about where you decided you wanted just something extra to do, and then again, how did the sports thing come about?
Oh, I guess I was looking for extra cash at the time, I guess, and things and it fit in with the job I had. I got off at 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I thought this would be a good thing to do. So a little extra cash and get in touch with the kids again.
So you worked obviously with closely, or how does it work where they say you're going to bus this team on this night? How does it come about? Is it like a transportation director? Is that something the coaches get on, or what's the deal?
Pretty much so. The transportation director. I let her. It was Jim Paulin at the time, and now it's Jackie Waltz. Great people. And I just tell them beginning of every sports season, say, give me what you got, and they put me in just about everything I possibly can. So I'm sorry. No, go ahead.
Okay. I guess. You not only obviously drive the kids to the meets and the coaches to the meets or the games or whatever, but you also get to be a spectator there. Are you a big sports fan? Is that kind of why you say, hey, just give me everything you got?
Yes, it is. I'm a sports fan and also a fan of the kids. I made a lot of friends here through the years. Pretty awesome kids. Being in touch with them, it's really a neat thing.
We were walking through the hall here to get to the library, and a few coaches you're just kind of goofing or joking around with. You developed some great relationships with coaches. Can you talk about those coaches that you work closely with and kind of what they mean to you and maybe vice versa?
Oh, my gosh. All of them. I've too many to name. They're all super people. I've a great relationship with Coach B, of course. He's the one I've probably driven the most between basketball, cross country, track. I see him about the most anyway through the year, but I've got a great relationship with all of them. Just from middle school on up, real good relationship.
There's been a lot of success in Nottoway Valley in a lot of different sports, and especially Coach B's sports. Can you give us a little insight into Coach Burmeister, what it is that makes him such a good coach?
Oh, just a great guy. He it's hard work. He's just a workaholic. He'll do anything for the kids to make them better, and he's got a great summer program. He's just all around just a great guy with the kids. He's teaching them all the time. We're on a bus trip, and the guy's teaching. He's teaching all the time, and I'm learning stuff off of him all the time. So it's really fun to be around. I'm really blessed.
Well, you've seen a lot of great teams, as I mentioned. So I just kind of ask you to maybe talk about a few memories that kind of pop into your head, a few teams or a few maybe some moments that kind of pop into your head a little bit in terms of any sport, whatever you can come up with in terms of maybe some of the best highlights or memories you can remember as a bus driver.
every time I hop in that bus, it's a great memory. There's always something awesome that happens. But our first trip to state back in 2005, that's a good memory. It was just the first time for everything there, and it was at the barn there. It was the last year and everything, and that was special. I got a T-shirt. It was the '05 team there, and I took my kids. I hauled them along. They was young at the time, and asked Coach B if he and the players would sign it. We was practicing there at AIB in Des Moines, and I asked him if the players would sign it, and he said sure. So they had their little practice, and after practice there, they signed our shirts. So that was a real special day for us. And of course, the '06 team's that was a championship year. Great memories, great kids all the way around. A memory, it's kind of fun thing we do during after we win our sub-state game. Coach B likes to celebrate in all three towns, Bridgewater, Fontenelle, and Greenfield. And so we go down Main Street of Bridgewater and go around the square in Fontenelle and here in Greenfield. And we get our police escort. They pick us up outside of town. The kids are hollering and screaming, and it's a really fun time. I'm honking horns, and kids have a good time, and all the people come out of the bars and they yell and scream, and it's a fun thing there. We have a lot of fun.
Go back to that 2006. You win the state championship. You drove bus that for that whole ride, or?
Yes, I did.
Okay. So my question would be, what was that ride back like? I mean, that had to be amazing.
Well, we got off to a rocky start on that day of '06. We stayed down at the Marriott downtown, and we got together in the morning. It was about 10 o'clock when we wanted to leave, and the St. Patty's Day parade started. And it's right where I wanted to go. I had to cross that street, and we sat there, and finally they let a group of us go through there, and we was trying to get to the well. Coach had an interview set up, and was kind of in a hurry, starting to get in a hurry there. We usually have plenty of time, but got held up there at the road. We drove on through, thought we'd go around the block and got on 2nd Street, and holy buckets, here we go, the parade again, and they would not let us through. We was all getting a little upset, and I was able to back the bus out, and I took a trip west. I can't remember the street, and I got to the end, and it was plugged up, and it was quite a deal, but we eventually made it to the Wells Fargo Arena there, and we got coached. It was all loaded with kids, and we thought Coach could go in, do his interview, and he got in there. He didn't have a cell phone at the time, so we kind of like to make fun of him a little bit, but we sat on that bus for like 2 hours waiting for him. They wouldn't let us in, and we couldn't get a hold of him. And Wizzall's just sitting out there on the bus. I thought, boy, this thing is not going well for us today. And finally, he came out, and we got in there to the wrong game. It should have been the next game. But anyway, we got rolling, and we went to a practice they had scheduled at a college there in town. And we made it, had our practice, and that all went well. I get the kids delivered and everybody at the well, and you kind of walk in there, and we've got a sea of green. We're playing Fort Dodge St. Edmunds, and they're green. And looked like it was stacked against us that day. Green, St. Patrick's Day. It was 10 years this year. And I thought, wow, we're doomed. But we went in that night. The kids took care of business and overcame everything. It was more of a obstacle for me than it was for any kids, that day. But they come in, they played their hearts out, and it was a great memory.
And you mentioned how you celebrated in Bridgewater and Fontanelle and Greenfield when you would win sub-state. Is that something you did as well for the state championship?
Yes, it is. Yep. Coach lived in every town, and every town's special to him. So he, when coming home, he wanted to make sure that we celebrated in every town. So, yeah, it's a good deal. We all have fun at it, and the kids remember that, and I do too.
Well, as a bus driver, you bus as long as you have and as many events as you have, and you got nicknamed Russ the Bus, and you kind of became a member of the team. So you brought some stuff here that you have. We showed the T-shirt already. What else do you have here?
Well, the son's year that went to state in 2015, guy in town, Corey Forrest, great guy. He made us up some signs for all the players and managers and coaches. And one day, Alan Martin shows up and with a sign. He said he brought this to me, and it kind of special. I thought it was a pretty cool gesture on their part. Anyway, it was something they didn't have to do, but it was really neat for them to think of me in that aspect. It was my son's senior year, so that was
something that was planted in town somewhere. A sign that signed?
No, he brought it to my home. He brought it to my home. Okay. So I displayed it there for a week or so, anyways. Also, kind of another special thing, I got to thank Dave Huff and Coach B for this, but I was nominated Fan of the Day up there at the state tournament there, and that was a real special day for me. I had all the players sign it, and the coaches. So that means a lot. It meant a lot to me. And,
this is what before the game they introduced you to both crowds.
Yes, they had one guy from the other team and me from Nottoway Valley, and it was a special day. I know what I wanted to say. My family knew about this the night before. I think Dave came into practice, I guess, and asked B about me getting this award, and B thought that would be a great thing. So My son Tanner at the time, he knew about it, and I didn't have a clue. So I get in there and I get set down on my seat, and about 30 seconds, and here comes Dave. Dave says, "Russ, come with me." And I thought, oh gosh, here we go. I kind of knew at the time, but I didn't know the whole family knew. Everybody knew about it, so that was special.
That's all right. No, yeah, that's awesome. Those are great things. Like I said, it just kind of shows you how much you appreciate it. I mean, more than you, sometimes you think it's a thankless job, maybe sometimes as a bus driver, and just getting people to games. I mean, they couldn't get there without you. So I guess my final thing would be, or I guess you got something else.
Oh yes, like we was talking a little earlier there. I went and supported our cross-country kids here last fall. Of course, they're state champions and everything, and they went up. I was up there at the camp. I didn't drive the bus at that time, but I was just went as a fan. And I was just hanging out around the camp and everything, and I just saw the signs, and I thought, pretty cool. Just standing around, and finally a parent said, "Russ, did you see your sign?" Holy buckets. They was thinking of me again. Great parents, though. I thought that was that real special. Again, they've all treat me really, really good. As I got the great kids. They're super, and got super parents too. They make you feel good all the time, and God bless them. I am really blessed.
So, if I had to ask you, what have you got out of this, more other than a paycheck? I mean, lots of memory. I mean, you kind of just gone through it all, really.
Oh my gosh, you always thought maybe if I could impact one kid, maybe just this would be an awesome thing. But maybe I have. I don't know, but they impacted me. They really did. I've got friends for life. I've got a kid, for example. It was his senior year, and I delivered some kids here at the school, and there I saw him walking across the parking lot, and here he comes, and he got on my bus, and we talked for an hour and a half. And I thought that was probably one of the coolest things ever. Made a friend. Yeah, and I made lots of them.
Russ, the Bus Armstrong. Russ, appreciate you taking time today, and thanks a lot for I guess taking the time with me, and then also for getting the kids to the games, some of the games that I've covered and been able to broadcast. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much for thinking of me anyway.